Yeah, we're just kind of going live straight away. I feel like we're kind of teasing you there. But I realized that it was late because I was trying to sort this out at the time. I've pinned my Notion document to the top of my screen. See how this works. Essentially what I'm trying to do is just have my checklist here so I can kind of go through it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But how is everyone doing? Um, are you all up to much? What are you writing? Um, yeah, so today my plans are I need to double check this checklist and then I want to go through um, chapter one again, maybe with some of the analysis prompts that I have. And I also want to test out Gemini 2.5. Has anyone played with that yet? I'd love to know, actually. I've not had a chance to explore it, so I thought we could have a little test of it together with some like test scenes or something. But yeah, that's my plan so far. Um, I mean, okay, I need your opinion, guys. What does this feel like? It's kind of implicit that Johan is her brother, or what do you think? Oh, okay. Well, we'll definitely have to try out 2.5 then. Oh, and absolutely, these sessions, they're here for you to ask questions. I just do some writing when there aren't any. So, absolutely, fire away with your questions, and I will try and help in the best way I can. Hmm. Pastor. I might just say about her brother. Yeah, of course, Corey. 150. Hi, Nikki. How are you doing? Yeah, we kind of like did a bit of a jump scare coming in without the timer, but um, hopefully you're all here and ready. I'm revved up. It's a lovely sunny day in the UK, which is quite rare at this time of year. So I have taken full advantage of it, and it's nice to sit and like be like, oh my god, the sun is out, the sky is blue. I'm not freezing my ass off. Those little things. But yeah, Steve, definitely ask your question if you need help with anything. I know there's a bit of a lag, so but just in case, you know. Okay, so I have all these free tokens from OpenAI. When I run a prompt in and see I get flagged for violence, I take the things to other software and it goes through. Yeah. So there is a moderation layer on OpenAI. So it's a little bit convoluted. So OpenAI has moderation systems, but they don't tell developers what parameters to set. But if they don't like what you've said, they can go back like anytime, like months after, and basically just revoke your access if messages have gone through that aren't allowed. And so kind of the reason that the we have the safety on a higher level is so that you guys don't just suddenly get your accounts closed by OpenAI kind of after the fact. Um we're hoping that OpenAI now it's kind of seeming to give up on moderation, like all its recent stuff that things hopefully will like get a bit, we'll be able to like loosen things. I know that's not necessarily the best answer. Going through OpenRouter, because they can go through Azure, that does have lower moderation limits. Yeah. As Corey says, a lot of developers don't bother calling OpenAI's moderation. And we're kind of like, well, it's better to call the moderation and rather than you guys like wasting your money and getting it called. So it's not a limiting factor. It's more we are putting in the required moderation by OpenAI, whereas it's not guaranteed elsewhere. Like I'm not sure what software you're trying, so I can't say for certain, and like we don't know what people put in, but we don't we put in the moderation that OpenAI tells us that we need to have to use it as an endpoint. Which is lame. But it it keeps all our accounts secure and like means that none of you get in trouble. Because like the last thing we want is just suddenly it being like nothing is there. Let me as well design. How can I not change my? Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that Sonnet is amazing and like all the other amazing things about Sonnet, yeah. Oh, hi, Grid Free. I just seen that it's your first broadcast that you've made it to, but yeah, no, it's nice to have you here. Yeah, but it is lame, and it can be frustrating, but it's kind of like, well, we're trying to do our best and play nice with the companies. Um, oh yeah, no, absolutely insane. To be honest, if you're wanting to play around with the things, you could always like, so say if you had like your beatbox, um, you can always like go onto preview final prompt and like copy it to the clipboard. Um, or you could do that with messages and stuff. Like it's not ideal, but if you wanted to use up the free credits. Oh my god, that is crazy, Corey. I mean, I can absolutely believe it, but crazy. Um, I mean, I don't think I need that. I mean, just um. Steve says, "Yep, that's what it's like. I have to figure out how to work around it if I want to play with those tokens." Oh, you're very welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't give you the answer, like an answer that helps you use the tokens. Um, yeah, we have been in contact with OpenAI about it, but they don't reply to people. Um, so there's only so many times you can be like, "Hey, can you give us some clarification?" Sorry, I'm just rambling on now. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions as well while we're in the Q&A portion? That's true. And you can use codex details so if you go on like codex custom details, you can go onto the AI option and include only include in not safe for work prompts or never include. So you can hide your not safe for work details within a codex as well. Or if you have like descriptions that you have it, that kind of stuff. Because often it might be just like one random sentence in your description, which also sucks. Red trouble. Gossip. Latest grievances. I mean, now I feel like I'm line editing, which, you know, maybe I don't need to line edit, but I've emphasized that Yehan is a brother. Okay, give some more context about the dad. Splattering them onto the sides. Okay, this transition feels a bit weird. Oh, I need a name of a herb that like smells bad. Um, okay. Can you go into more detail about So like with the story, I'm trying to like not use AI for the prose as much as possible. But like research, all that kind of stuff, fair game. Okay, so I'm gonna pin this. Smell like lemons, but also like okay. That's the nearest. To chop it up. I also did all this by dictation, so it's like some of it might get a little bit like rambly. Yeah, the roux. Don't be mean to the roux. Odd. Again, that will be like the dictation being like thinking I mean old instead of odd. Like if the words sound too similar. She wouldn't open. She never opened. Oh yeah, I was doing context about Dad. That was what I was. The food every year, Granny went there. um. Okay. Okay. Well, wait until he's asleep. And she's a bit more exasperated. Yeah, like, yes, Granny. 3 times clockwise, once the other way, repeat. Um. Um. Tearing her gaze away from the hat. Right at her. What are you guys working on or doing while listening to this? Sorry for that sound. Are y'all writing, editing, doing household chores? Let me find some music. Put my headphones on speakers. Focus right. Boop. And then I go on YouTube Music. Oh, hello, Cicely. I mean, that is a great game. Like, Nap Roulette. I hope you had a very restful nap. Oh, yes, you're trying out 2.5. Yes, we were gonna do that, weren't we? Okay, let me, um, let's just go to a random chapter. We're gonna just test out something random. Nikki is writing and planning. Neural Splice is wrangling with my website. Oh, What are you using for your website, Neural Splice? I use WordPress and Elementor. Like in my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. In my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. Do I have a sample chapter? And I'm free from the phone. And the job gets done, but you worry some, I know. But who wants to live forever, babe? I think of moving from WordPress to Ghost. I hear there's less pulling your hair out involved. Yeah, I mean, I like WordPress because you get the control, but I can totally see. Oh, I use Hostinger as well as a host. I don't mind it too much, mainly because it's cheap. I think, yeah, there are so many but Ghost, I've heard of Ghost before. I can't, you know, when it's like on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite remember where you've heard it from. You're too sweet for me. In my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. Wow, okay. I'll try again in a minute. Um, oh, okay. See, I use their shop via. Okay. Well, yeah, on WordPress. What do I do? Yeah, I've never offered digital and thingy prices together. Now I'm kind of curious if you can. Can you offer that? Maybe it's an extension for WordPress that you need. Um, Now I'm kind of curious. WooCommerce, products, add new. So, mm, yeah, so if you use the variable feature, um, physical, um, digital. Sorry, I'm not doing this on my tab because I don't want to. Um, um, yeah, you can do virtual. Downloadable. Yeah. So I'm looking on WordPress and it seems like you can do a a WordPress shop. Yeah, so on WordPress you can do a variable product and include files. So you should be able to include like your ebook, print, and audiobook on the same page. Sorry, that was very boring for everyone. But it does seem to work. So yeah, make sure you've got WooCommerce in. It is annoying that they try and upsell you stuff all the time, but like depends on how often you're on. If you're only on it once, like every now and then when you're adding stock, then it's not too bad. Um, Okay, well, I was looking at I mean, this is quite ugh. Okay, well, I'll try again with 2.5. It's interesting prose. It's a bit blocky, but I don't know if that's because it didn't see the style guide. But to be fair, this is quite paragraphy, so it makes sense. Default shop page has one button linked to shop database, and we're adding more buttons, so have to manually create page. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's the template you're on then or something. And Cicely asks Neural Splice what they use to make their audiobooks. Oh, Balabolka. Is Balabolka like is that AI voice or is that something else? I've not heard it. Gridfree says you can also get a payment gateway and just add your book to a page with a buy now button. Yeah, that would also work. Um, yeah, I always wonder whether like when you like do you just record your own audiobooks? Like I sometimes get tempted. Um, but then it's like, do you do the voices or do you have everything in like one tone? What do people prefer? If you read audiobooks, do you prefer like everything to be like in the narrator's voice or do you prefer them to try and like act out bits? Well, you see, Johan has been yattering on about Katrina for ages now. What was I doing? I think I started doing some codex details, didn't I? Yeah, so I can take that off. Neural Spy says I use multiple AI voices in Balabolka to create a radio play. Oh, nice. No, I don't know. I don't mind it all being one voice, but they don't. I don't mind it being all one voice, but they don't get the mood and intonation right yet. Oh, as in like AI voices, yeah. But like with humans, do you have a preference? With humans, yeah. Prolonged pre-chase. Okay, I think this is the next bit. Okay, well, I'll go through to it, but I think that was the next note that I had. Dear. My dear. God, not today, Granny. I'm sorry, Father needs me. Um, I mean, maybe. I mean, I think until like AI gets like good at like acting, I'd love to hear a human reading my stuff. And like I enjoy reading like or like listening to comedy audiobooks like by the actual comedian as well. That's always fun. So neural splice, are you saying that you're having to like do multiple short passes? Oh, Mari. Um, yeah, no, I mean it's my hair. It's like not that different, but I have a short bob. I mean, so Mari just messaged like DM'd with that on Discord, and FYI, I got my hair cut a month ago to the day. So I can see all the Discord messages. Oh, Ivan says, "Hey there, Kate. How are you doing?" I'm doing great, thank you, Ivan. It's a lovely sunny day, and I'm just with y'all answering questions and talking about audiobooks, which is always fun. Yeah, how are you doing? Fine, then I'll find that. Um, Red Square. Um, She recalled the villagers' whispers, how Granny could see things before they happened, how animals obeyed her whispers, how plants flourished under her touch when they withered for others. Those same villagers lined up at Granny's door when fever struck, or when babes wouldn't come, pockets jingling with coin they couldn't spare. Red wondered if there was something behind the rumours. Wait here. Granny. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Ivan. Granny scurried off, disappearing behind a row of brooms and clutter. Red could hear the sounds of pots and pans being moved, the rustle of clothing, a rough sling. The sounds quickly grew fainter, even though Red knew that the exterior wall was only the outside wall. The outside wall was only feet away. She tiptoed nearer, planning to peek around the corner. Ah, here it is. Granny reappeared as if she'd always been there. The sounds returned. She was holding a large swath of red material and what looked like a golden clip. I knew I had these somewhere. She thrust the material out to Red, who took it cautiously. It felt soft in her hands, far softer than the fabric her pinafore was made of, even softer than the wedding gowns she'd brushed against mid-dance. She looked at the clip. Was that real gold? Um, she looked back at Granny, who was smiling sadly. How does someone smile sadly? It was like the smile Mama made before she felt I think she fell sick. Again, I'm cleaning up dictated prose, so I almost did not write fell sick. Ivan says, I finally started working on prompts. It's amazing how many things you can address with different prompts. Thank you for your valuable insight. Oh my god, guys. I'm glad it's helpful. Like, seriously. Um, but yeah, I think like once you start playing with prompts and telling AI what you actually want, the output you get gets closer. And like trying out people's prompts and just kind of learning things. We're going to have towards the end of April a prompting series like on actual like getting into the prompts. We're just waiting for a few things to come about and like we'll have some videos and the like. So I'm really excited to be able to bring you that. It's just taking some time to prepare. Um, but yeah. Um, Red, promise me that you're okay. Great, I always stick the path. It's the quickest way home. Yes, but be more careful today and take this with you. Granny quickly bundled up a selection of herbs hanging from the ceiling, pulling out stems and flowers and mixing them together until the basket was full to the brim. There. That way you're prepared for any eventuality. What does eventuality mean? It means that if anything happens, you will have something to help. Granny took the cloak back, shaking it out. No dust came from between the folds, but it smelled lightly of lavender and sandalwood, along with something else that Red couldn't quite place. It reminded her of her mama. Eat your young. Granny wrapped it tightly around her shoulders, using the pin to hold each piece closed. It was snug but not too tight, and she immediately felt warm, as though the winter chill and the draft beneath the door couldn't reach her. There, all set to travel quickly. Little Red rolled her eyes. Just Red. Red rolled her eyes, but gave Granny a quick hug, reaching up on her tiptoes to kiss the old woman's cheek. As soon as the door was closed, she grabbed her basket and skipped out into the dusk. Bye, see you next week! The woods in autumn were Red's favourite place in the world. The leaves couldn't seem to make up their minds, displaying a vibrant mix of green, yellow, orange, red, and brown, then to skeletal fingers that crumbled into dust. Squirrels darted between the trees, cheeks bulging with acorns. Rabbits froze at her approach before disappearing into undergrowth. Okay, this is the part where I need to start prolonging the pre-chase bit. As she skipped along, Red hummed to herself a song they made them... They hummed a song they made them sing in church. The words were rather silly and didn't make sense. Oh, question. I also have a question in the... Actually, I put in... Okay. So, I mean... Oh, excuse me. So what I do... So I also, like for beta readers, I'll do it off Novelcrafter. I'll, do it on Google Docs or something. I usually copy and paste. So, I'll just go into the new chapter, or, the chapter, select all, and then paste the new chapter in. Honestly, that's the easiest way to do it. There are probably other ways you can do, you could go into plan and, import just the scene, and then drag it to the correct place. So yeah. But in my file, the laptop, I have to I arrived to have. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would update in Novelcrafter. If you've got different volumes, you could always do them as different novels, or you could, because every scene has scene contents history, so you can kind of use that to act as a kind of version control. Does that kind of answer? But every time you copy and paste it in, you've still got the old version in a version history. Okay, right, we're getting here. The words rather silly did make sense, but the tune was catchy enough. Grid says, I noticed when I export, the export also exports all the sections that are hidden and word... Yeah, I mean, if you go into Canny, there might be a request for that already. Yeah, I find when you also do the copy scene, it copies all the sections. I'm not entirely sure what the mechanisms behind that are. Corey might know. I don't. But Yeah, I mean that would be a feature request if it's not already on the canny. That would be very beneficial to people. Um, which bit didn't you get, Ivan? Which would the entire thing or um like what are you trying to achieve, I guess? Like in the up like are you wanting to keep the most up-to-date version in Novelcrafter or are you wanting to have different versions like version history? Then she um so you can't update and overwrite if it's the entire story. You can like I guess overwrite a chapter at a time, or delete and re-import. But you can't overwrite all the files in one go. No, no. Uh, even shouts of men. Yeah, sure. Um, you're very welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer. Every friend, I saw them die, and all I hear are screams. Let me close my eyes. All I hear are screams. Just let for new versions where do you mean where every version is a new book? Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Every version is a new book and like have it as a share. Everything is shared series codex. And then I usually archive past versions. So if you archive the past version, you've still got it, but it's like not in your homepage. So you might have like book 2, book 2.1, book 2.3. Like I often do that if I'm like doing really big changes. But yeah, that could also work. Um, oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do that with like edits and stuff. Like it helps. Yeah, it's weird. Like yeah, there are some things you're like, why isn't that in early? It's just our laundry list. Like, dudes, we have such a list of things that we want to bring you all. And like you know, we got things. They're being worked on. They're very cool. I can't wait to keep playing with them. They're you know things and stuff. Feel in love, fictional guy. I've used italics to show a thought of a character. Um, I did it because at the time I was just reading out my thoughts and I've not edited. And so I was probably like I would delete that. But it's because when I'm dictating, I'm just like not really thinking about it. So no, what you do is Cicely, if your entire codex is for your series, like a series codex, and then you make a new novel, like you export, you've done your edits, you make the new novel, and you call it like version 2 or whatever. You can do it that way, and like your codex is shared across the books. Obviously, if it's a larger series, you then have every codex entry attached to the series, but you can go back to the book, the final version, and move those specific codex entries to be book specific entries. It's a bit of fang jangling, but that's like a good way of getting version history. I would say just do it for like the massive changes, but I mean, you can do what you want. So, um, yeah. Uh, Red shook her head. She was being silly. She wasn't a child anymore. She was 10. She could manage a walk in the forest unaccompanied. Um, she had been going alone for grannies for 3 years. She didn't want to admit that Granny might be right about something so little. Okay, so I want to do something in between. I feel like something is needed here. Only. Got it. I understand really quickly, as long as you explain for long enough. Just have to, as long as I ramble on for long enough about something, you'll probably understand it. Yeah. Need to concise thoughts. Concise thoughts? I need to make my thoughts concise. God, don't Yoda speak, Kate. Um um, only let's increase Kate. You don't need to increase my max tokens. Like, if I start talking about something, I will just like if you increase my max tokens, I will become too creative and incoherent, and you will end up with like random things thrown into sentences. Like, you might just suddenly have like a thing about things and stuff. Uh, between the everything was fine. I'm like, was that mist? Fine wisps of vapor edged towards her from between the trees, curling around her feet. Very quick at her pace. It was fine. This wasn't a story where she could see the path. Very quick into pace. It was fine. This wasn't a story. She could see the path. She just had to keep going. This is rising. At her knees, her chest, or her waist. Has anyone tried taking the sentence or paragraph and sticking it into a scene beat and just letting it run? I mean, like, what, just as in, like, I mean, trying Gemini might have been a bad idea because it might not go anything, but yeah. 50 messages a day, my ass. And though I do need... What? Yep, there you go. Well, see, I've not even done 2 requests a minute. Like, I did a request and then I've tried to do another one and it's just still not working. And it's been like half an hour. Um, no, I like this. This has worked well. Oh, the beat prompt has multiple messages. Ugh. I mean, that is quite cool. I mean, unfortunately, I do need to not have it in there, but let me... Oh, sorry, guys. Ow, that also hurt. Um, do any of you ever like used a cheese grater and like your fingers have gotten too close to the cheese grater? Like I now have 2 fingers sacrificed to a cheese grater. Not like the full finger, obviously, but like chunks of skin flesh big enough to like scar, and they really hurt. Um, cheese graters are lethal. I need to get one of those things that like you stab into the cheese and like hold that instead of holding the cheese block. Um, yeah, I mean, like, it's a great way of doing, like, I guess if you also wanted to do, like, a continue prompt, but without just putting continue, just, like, sticking in the first paragraph. I mean, I grate cheese a lot. It's not a skill issue, but a perception issue. I have, like, if I was, like, a D&D character, my wisdom would be really low. My passive perception is so bad that I just forget that my hand is there. And like, yeah, you can't stick a fork into an entire like a big block of cheese and then like grate with it because then the fork could just fall out. But no, you can get these things that are like flat and have spikes and you put them in and like it holds them. Um, yeah, like, and we can't even buy bags of pre-grated cheese because they have flour in them, and so then stupid. But yeah, I unfortunately our household doesn't have a child that we can foist the labor onto. Cassie would eat the cheese. Like, she would eat the cheese and then lick the grater, and then we'd be like, oh, great, another one. Yeah, no, no, I know you're teasing, but yeah, no, it's not an issue of my cooking level. It's an issue of my perception, like 1000%. Um, like sometimes I think I should like work on it, but then I daydream about my stories all the time, and so creativity instead. And all night you got me singing like, oh, loving when you do it like that. When you're closer, give me the shivers. Um, path faded into the mist, trees merging into a black wall on either side. Red stretched an arm out, fingertips brushing against rough bark, guiding her forward, step by careful step. She was 10. She'd done this route hundreds of times. She could make it back. She could follow the path. She kept repeating the mantra to herself, hoping that repetition would mean truth. That's what they said in church, right? You keep repeating your prayers, and then things happen. Good things. Yeah, you got me singing like. That's fine, but I prefer mine. Give me the shivers. Uh, I noticed in this editing, I'm definitely like shortening all the sentences, both for pacing and also like for her age. Like, yeah, see, that is like, it's just not falling to the ground. Um, so I want she crouched. Dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me. My missionaries in a far-off field. For some reason I can't explain. Once you're gone, it was never, never an honest world. And that was when I ruled the world. Um, a lot of mercy, da, 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 even in the mist. Have a great time, Corey. I will speak to you later this week. Remember to send me the prompts. Just to let me in the summer once, people wouldn't believe what I'd become. Roman cavalry choirs singing, be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a far-off field. How's it? Half its innards. Even in the mist, you can see them. Yeah, I'll just get the rabbit was not the cause. Half its innards splayed out. I like splayed. Sometimes like word choice when you're thinking is like, I don't know if you guys find this, but like you spend so long thinking of what the right word is because like they're so similar in meaning, but like there's just like a little difference that suddenly you're like makes it so visceral. Like splayed just feels like a little bit more gruesome. Um, Red to her feet. Spinning around, desperate to find the sound. Another rustle. A demon, a wolf, but the king said a creature emerged. A creature emerged from the mist. It crawled on all fours, but its weight was on its hind legs. Front limbs grazing the dirt as it prowled towards her. Its bright green eyes. Its pace was oh yeah. Thank you for picking that up. Now Corey is gone. Your messages are gonna take a lot longer to apply because onto the screen because I have to do it when I see them. I think. Oh yeah, I was wanting to make the tension more. Okay, right, guys. We need to manually expand to add tension. That is the command. Okay. Jokes aside. It's um wolf-like, but nothing like the village dogs. I think just get rid of that. That's too much. Limbs twisted and knotted like ancient roots, all out of place and painful to move. And its face, or I couldn't look away from the face. It was flat, almost human beneath the fur. Red, red backed up. One. The creature matched her step by step. Her every step, its limbs stretching forward. Easily. Its stride doubled hers, closing the distance as guttural snarls bubbled from its throat. And then I'm thinking, okay, Granny maybe. And then I'm like, okay. But if red. Uh, red flung. The herbs. Not flung. Red. Red. Red didn't give herself. A hole. Um. A howl. Snarls. Claws tearing at Wicca. Red turned on her heel. Running. Red turned on her heel. Cry for your daughter's Eve. Red turned on her heel. What am I doing? So, claws tearing at Wicca. I feel like it still needs more before this bit. Um, I can tick that off. I can tick that off. The creature matched her every step, its limbs stretching forward easily. Its stride doubled hers. Closing the distance as guttural snarls bubbled from its throat, she glanced behind her. The village was maybe 10 minutes away, close enough for hope, far enough that they wouldn't hear her scream, far enough that this creature would catch her. If anything happens, you have something to help. The basket was only a dead weight, it would slow her down, but if Red flung the cover off, grabbing the herbs scattered around, the creature froze, sniffing the air. It braced. Get rid of that. Red didn't give herself time to doubt. She threw the basket at its face. A howl, snarls, claws tearing at Wicca. Red turned on a heel, abandoning stealth for speed. Lungs heaving. Did blindly forward. Yeah, lungs heaving. She pounded blindly forwards. Stretched out to guide her along the tree. The howls. I might get rid of that, so then I can. The howls turn to snarls. Red didn't look back. Even as the rattling breath of the throat. Brushing. It was big. The forest. Red dived into the forest. The brush. Red dived into the forest, pounding through the brush. She. And now the howl. She leaped over bramble and Yeah, Han. Da, 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 da. Checks I could use. Um, that would bring me some peace. See that wedding bed. Dived or dove? Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, there you go. Dived is the British English, dove is the American English. So both are correct, and I will be keeping with dived. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. I didn't know if it was. I assumed it was some kind of meaning thing, but yeah. Only way to move this. Same person. French's whipped her feet. What do I want? Maybe she doesn't get to the river. Yeah, maybe it doesn't get to the river. She doesn't get to the river. Um, Frances whipped her face, roots grabbed her feet. No, they wouldn't win. She wouldn't. Um, you want it? She. Okay. Oh. Jason says, I like watching someone's actual workflow rather than just a tutorial. Those are helpful too, but I like seeing how someone actually works. Yeah, that's kind of why we decided to do these series as well, like to give an idea of how people write both with AI and without. Like a lot of this stuff this session has been without AI. Like I've kind of consulted it at times, but the prose itself, but it's seeing how people use their tools um in one place. Like like here I've got like a lot of like highlights for different things, um Yeah, no, I'm glad that they're useful. Like I like watching people write. I think it's very relaxing as well. Like I like having it in the background. But yeah. Okay. Whoa, whoa. She weightless. No, then impact. Um, claws tangled the back of her. This it's Ivan says, I tried to do some videos of my scenes with the help of AI, and it was really funny to see how AI interpreted my writing. It's also to help us feedback. Yeah, I think it does help to, yeah, get that feedback of what you're doing. And I love having like if you get I mean you can use AI, but I just use like text to speech. But like getting it read back, I think helps a lot with getting everything sort of like in your head as well. Right. Um, okay. Some kind of smell. So again, I'm going to go to chat. Actually, to be fair, I could just go for this chat. What does the breath of a carnivorous wolf smell like? For me, and I'm feeling good. Robust and earthy aroma. her finger, warm, wet, and soaked her dress. Blood. Her fingers clawed at the ground. Okay, I'm gonna have to work out this scene, but it's like the end of the stream now. So, does anyone have any questions before I go? But if not, yeah, I'll head off, and we'll see you on Saturday, for the class stream. But no, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll give you all a minute to see if anyone asks any questions. Okay, yeah, this needs to be like, it's like description, but it needs to be just like made into Prose. That's fine. I can do that. Okay, I'm almost near the end. Well, this is 2700. Okay, so I'm like 2/3 of the way through this, so I feel pretty solid that next week I'll be able to finish this chapter. Yeah. So okay, well, I'm going to assume then that no one has any questions. And head off, and I will see you all on Saturday. Bye.